Good evening, one and all, and welcome to episode 72 of your favourite podcast. It is the All Four Back with your host Chester 430, and I'm joined as always by my co-broadcasters. And welcome back to Hadlington. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, mate. It's a good evening to Shads. Good evening, Shads.
Evening, all.
And he'll be doing some talking tonight as well on our podcast, doing the Cowboys review. It's our wonderful producer. It's Tank. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening.
So, chaps, a bumper show to get through tonight. Getting towards the sort of tail end of the season. We've got the final rounds and final leaderboard of the BGP and SCS, which took place on Sunday from Pirate Speedway. We've got the Shorefield Panthers track review. We've got a preview of the BLRC and the RRC taking place on the 8th of June. And then the last part of the show will be the Cowboys review. So, without any further ado, let us crack on with the final round of the BGP and SCS, which took place at Pirate Speedway over in the States. And it was a formality for Steph as he took the title in his very first ride, winning heat number 4 quite comfortably. But the winner of that night was actually TJ Griffiths. Finished on 13 points in the qualifying rounds. But then got through into the grand final, had that all-important inside starting position, and took the win. Shad, I'm going to start with you first if I can, bud, because you were in this meeting. A meeting to forget, only 1 point for yourself, mate. What happened?
Yeah, let's talk about something else. No, not good. No, not good. Wasn't feeling it before the meeting. I wasn't feeling it during the meeting, and certainly wasn't performing during the meeting either. No, not my sort of track. I'm afraid. Couldn't pin it to the inside. Just I don't think I even made the first bend in my last race. I think I just dived straight into the grass. So I think I should have done that in the first lap and gone home. But it is what it is. It was very, very unlikely I was going to qualify anyway. No, the people who qualified, well done to them. And I'll say well done to Stefan, first of all, for winning it all again. And TJ, is that the lowest points ever total for a GP winner? 13 points.
I don't know, actually.
A last and 2/3. And 13 points. No, it's he's had a good run at it. I think he won the first one, didn't he? He won his first GP round 3 or 4, I think, and did nothing in the other 2, and then comes up with a win in the last one. So it's a bit up and down, bit of a roller coaster. You expect that with a newbie, I suppose. But no, congratulations to Stefan and all the other guys that have qualified. Not really many surprises. The biggest surprise for me is Lofty and Stephen Stephen 101 not qualifying for next year. I thought one of them probably may have done it, but Lofty had a poor meeting, and Stephen was so. And School managed to hold on despite only scoring 3 points.
Yeah, interesting that one. Surprised seeing, as you said, Stephen not qualifying. Say Paz just put a video in the group chat of the final, I believe. So that's to watch for your viewing eyes. In terms of the table, there's the top 8. So Stefan, Powis, Sizzler, Craig, Jetlotzka, Cappy, Squall, and Marecki. And now Marecki only riding in 4 meetings and qualifying from the top 8. That's an achievement in itself. Hads, your thoughts on that one? Seeing Marecki with that with not riding many meetings, but qualifying for next season.
Yeah, just all about consistency there. 14 points in the last 3 rounds is, that's it's tough to do, to be fair. I think 101 will be kicking himself a little bit if he rides in one of those first 2 rounds. He finishes in the top 8, to be fair. Lofty was a little bit unlucky. I think he come in and give it a good go. I didn't realise TJ was only 6 points off as well. But if anybody does drop out, obviously 101 and Lofty, I mean, I don't know how that would be decided. If someone was to drop out, which one would go in first? I know there was a rule a few years ago. 101 actually got in because somebody else dropped out. I read that earlier. But I think the one I was most impressed with over the series, I mean, I know he rode every round, but not riding in the league this year was Dret Locker finishing 5th. I know he had a couple of bad scores, a 2 and a 5, but to finish 5th and not riding in the league and getting 67 points is a pretty good effort, to be fair.
Yeah. Totally agree there. There had with that one there.
Good start, that.
Yeah. I'm going to say like there was one. It was nice seeing Powis getting back in the scoring after a pretty under par season, scoring 17 in the Grand Prix. So and to finish quite comfortably second place over Sizzler. But again, the last round, Sizzler 5, Craig 7, Dretlotka 5, Squall 3, and yet they still all qualified for next season. And the thing was with 101 and Lofty, they both raced the same number of meetings. So you're right. I don't know how they would say whoever drops out in the SCS or the BGP, who goes in, because they both had the same amount of meetings, same scores. It'll be very, very interesting to see how that pans out then at the tail of the season. As they say, there, Shads, who finished in 13th on 38 points. Just tell us how you think your season went.
Are you taking the piss? Look at the scores, you donut.
Well, consistent.
3855881. I mean,
consistent.
Does that deserve to be in a GP?
That's Nikolai Clint's championship scores for Plymouth.
Yeah, let's move on.
Legend.
Listen, at least I turned up for every round. You were asked so many times to appear in the SCS when there were shorter numbers, and you refused every single time. At least I made, the likes of me.
There's a difference between refusing and turning it down.
Hobnob as well. We qualified by right, and we actually turned up for every single meeting.
Yeah, but it's the ones that signed up at the start of the season, and like that's how I saw it.
It's all right turning up for meetings when you're sort of second, third, fourth in the championship. But when they're struggling, like the likes of myself and Baz, I mean, even Lasorsi only missed one round. I think we deserve we deserve credit as well. I think.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. To be fair, I mean, I know Marecki and Lofty only they come in towards the end, but and still almost nearly qualified. Obviously, Marecki did, but turning up every round gives you a chance. To be fair, I mean, you're only 9 points away from qualifying. To be fair, Shads as well.
Say good night. Good night. Good night. Say good night. Good night.
Say good night, Uncle Dan.
That was Theo.
Bless him.
Yeah. I just think sort of the unsung heroes, those that turn up, even though we didn't want to turn up, even though we knew we were going to be shit.
Yeah, but at least you gave it a go, Shads. At least you gave it a go.
Yes, I gave it a go. I was, helping the boys out because I know they were struggling for numbers. It's always nice to race, and it's my retirement year, so I thought, I've got a shot.
And to be fair, you were level with Fakey, who's the number 1 in the league, so it's not all that bad.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Take the piss out of Shad tonight, is it?
Normally it's me. Yeah. Anyways, SCS took place on the same night, and it was a win for JC. who took the win. And if I'm right in saying that every round that JC raced in, he reached the final, didn't he?
No.
And was it not? I'm sure.
He missed
I
one. I think he missed
it was
one. He
five.
come
I
out
think it
in
was
the semi-final.
5 of 7.
5 of 6, I think it was.
Yeah. I was told that earlier. I've sort of forgot about it. Yeah. Anyways, so I think saying he missed round 5. Okay. But yeah, a good win for JC in this one. Of course, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the whole Cam and Rico saga. Because with that result of 18 points, Cam clinched the SCS championship. So it was a good win for Cam there, albeit with that little bit of controversy. And as I say that, he enters the room and then leaves again. Addington, 13 points.
Yes.
Got a semi-final. Decent night for you.
Yeah, it should have been better though. To be fair, I picked the wrong gate in the semi-final. I've never had the first gate pick before in my life. So I've done all right from. I picked blue. I should have gone with white really, but one of them. Capesy smashed me in the first corner, and that was it. But yeah, I was pretty pleased. I got obviously picked up a few points from people going in the grass or in the fence, but I think that's going to be normal on these types of tracks. But yeah, I'll definitely take 13 points and a nice ending, really solid ending to the season after my first couple of rounds. So yeah, I think it's just unfortunate to what the track wasn't to everyone's liking.
Yeah, I think one person that enjoyed it, he made a return into the meeting, was Speedy, finishing on 14 points, getting through the final and finishing. He finished fourth in the final, but yeah, great return there for Speedy in his return. Shads, your thoughts on the SCS? Of course,
I just
albeit with that controversy.
I just made one note, and that was Speedy. Like you said, good to have Speedy back. I believe he said in one of the servers in server chat that his work times have changed and he'd be available for more evenings possibly next season. So it could be a returnee to the league next season, which would be good because he's been looking really fast in servers, in practice servers. And he's been in quite a few as well that I've been in. And I think he's been in some of the late night testing ones that Craig has been doing as well. So it'd be great to have Speedy back and have a bit of brotherly rivalry again. We got we got the Smiler Skyride, and now we got the 101 Speedy.
Well, of course, Speedy in 101 with the catalyst behind the old lockdown broadcast they used to do back in the day.
Oh yeah,
that was
they were good. The old sign up nights were brilliant with them two.
Yeah, sign up nights and the transfers really and all that.
With you doing the sort of like roving reporter job as well.
Yeah, I announced Stefan for the Dragons.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, they were good then. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we can bring. Hopefully,
great to see coming back.
Yeah, bring them back.
As for the top three, I think JC was really unlucky to miss out on a top three. I mean, Scotty had a nightmare meeting, didn't he? I think his head probably went. 5 points is not great. I think you were talking about the Cam Rico situation. I think although it's not ideal, I don't think it would have made any difference to the result because I think Cam was head and shoulders the most consistent rider over the 7 rounds. Obviously, Jan missing a round didn't help. I think Jan would have raced in the previous round. He may have even topped Cam's score, but he didn't. Like I said, if you don't turn up, you're not going to score. So, that's the way it goes. I think no one's going to begrudge Cam the title, and I think he'll do pretty well in the GPs next year. I mean, he's looking very fast. If you just cut out something any mistakes trying to go for track records instead of just racing, I think he might do pretty well.
Yeah, and of course we now have the dilemma of both Cam and Rico racing in 2 separate meetings on the same night as well. So again, that causes a bit of controversy in the in not too distant future. So looking at all those DNRs as well, round 4 had the most of them. You see there, Bikini, Skyrider, Capesy, David No Fear, B Witcher, Westy Boy, and then of course Lango was a non-starter for us for the year. I mean, we all wish Lango well, of course.
Can I just say a big shout out to Hadlington for trying to replace all these DNR riders. I mean, for him at the end of the season, when there's really not a lot to play for the majority of the field, I think to get 2 full meetings, 32 riders in, I think it's a sterling effort by him. So well done, mate, and the rest of the messenger GP chat team. Hads deserves most credit because he's the one who has this headache of trying to replace riders and messaging people and trying to sort it all out. So well done, mate.
Congratulations, Hads. That's a Rider of the Week. That's Rider of the Week there for you, mate. Rider of the Week.
and just one note, I finished on a nice total of 69 points as well.
Hey!
I'll please Cape there, I think.
Yeah. Well, Jan's made a good post in the group chat saying only 5 riders rode in all 7 meetings, so it's quite an advantage if you can make it to every meeting. So, good job on that. That stat there. No, Lofty, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Crazy fool.
Dinner for 2.
I got to deal with him Sunday as well. Christ. Ugh. It's gonna be fun in the pits. So, anyways, SCS and BGP have been completed. Had one final thought. Just sum up how the whole tournament's gone, both BGP and SCS. Just talk us through it.
I think it's obviously there's always tracks that people do like, don't like, but these are I know some of the tracks are used in these are not used very often. I don't think some of them, especially the American folder, should be used for these competitions anymore with only 4 tracks, because it'll be a bit of repetition. I was actually looking through the forum earlier for some stats for the weekend, and I think it was S14 or 15. The voters all picked so many tracks, and it was picked that way, and it was like the most votes was used that way. So, I mean, whether that's another option or we just like pick tracks that can't be used again for so many seasons afterwards, I don't know. But I think overall, the people who turned up, as Shad said, especially the main ones there as well, Rico and Ben, I mean, the top score between them was 10. They turned up every round and both qualified for next season. So that just proves if you turn up every week, it gives you a good chance. So well done to everybody who did turn up.
Yeah, I echo what you say there. Hads, Shad, did you agree with that? Just overall,
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's 100%. Like I said before, it's easy to turn up every week when you're the top, but like I said, like Baz, the Saltier, even Fecky, every single round, although he wasn't riding in the lead this year, he was there every week, every round. Maybe not so much in the SCS, but in the GPs. I mean, it's quite an honour to be in the GP, and I'm not knocking it. I don't know how I got in there, but I did. But if you're gonna qualify, try and qualify for it, you might as well take part in it. You never know we're going to get another chance.
Correct, I agree. have a man of experience.
Yeah.
Well, of course,
Never, in my
during
case.
the next sort of few weeks, once the season's all packed up, rules and that will come in, and then we'll get all the draws and stuff, and all your suggestions for this BGP and SCS will be hopefully put forward to the committee, and yeah, we'll see how things pan out. So that was the BGP and SCS meetings. We now have the team reviews. Now, later in the program, we do have the Pool Cowboys review, as Mr. Tank will be reviewing that one, courtesy of Mr. Skyrider. But
long one.
for the
It's a long one.
yeah, the long one, I have seen the spreads that he's done. So with the we'll have a break after the Panthers review. So Shawfield Panthers, and with that, I'm going to hand over to me. I'm doing the review. Brace yourself. So,
Be nice.
yeah, I've got Capesy on standby. Get ready, Capes. So Shawfield Panthers, they moved away from Plymouth last season, and they turned up with this lineup: B. Witcher, Lofty, Cappy, Shads, Scotty B, Ben Thompson, the captain Capesy, and Hutty as number 8. Now, by my calculation, by my understanding, that the Shawfield Panthers had 0 team changes. So they had the entire season the same number of riders. Apart from that, the league didn't go as expected for the Panthers. As we see here on the next slide that we have, the defeats, it wasn't the greatest of seasons for the Panthers, right up until Sunday the 4th of May, where they had their first points against the Powder Horse Scorchers. Now, even though the teams didn't perform as they wanted to, 2 riders for me stood out above the rest, and those 2 were Cappy and Scotty B. Now, Cappy started in grade 13 on a 7.74, and he moved up a grade to an 8.15 average. In fact, the more successful rider in the Panthers team was Scotty B. Started on a grade 10 on a 6.2, and finished on an 8 points, so it's a 1.78 increase. So those 2, as the season progressed, they were getting their points higher and higher and higher. And it was a great season for Scotty. Now, of course, those 2 updates of the average increase for Cappy and Scotty B led to the Panthers' first win of the season, which was the 46-44 away win at Shawfield Panthers. Now, the best thing about this one is that the Panthers rode effectively with a 5-man team, because of course Hutty was 3 exclusions and they had rider replacement. And to have the Pool Cowboys have the Panthers having led or been behind for most of the meeting, and then that 5-1, those 2 advantages in 13 and 14, put them within a shout of becoming, of winning the meeting, and they did with that 3-all. Witcher and Cappy coming up with the goods over Craig and Fakey. And again, this match they didn't have Scotty B, so again it was a 5-man team minus Scotty. So that was their first win. And then on the final match of the season, the Panthers then took a 48-42 home win over league champions Oxford Dragons. And for that, in that meeting, their number 5, who of course increased his points average a lot this season, Scotty B, effectively had a 20-point maximum. But again, the team was riding with 6 riders because Hutty was 2 exclusions and a last in his 3rd ride. But of course, in that meeting there, Ben Thompson, 8 and 2 from reserve. All the team was solid right the way through. and they got the win. But of course, this team was against the champions elect, so it was a bit of a bonus for them. Yes, the 21 points, Capes, you are correct with that 2-0 win against Stefan. So with that, we're all going to have a rider of the team rider of the season this year, and my Panthers rider of the year, all because of that final last few meetings. My rider of the season for the Panthers is Scotty B. So Scotty B there, the Panther rider of the season. I'm going to bring in the captain if I can, if he's ready to go. Capesy, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thanks. Are you?
Good. Yeah, all good, mate. Chugging along as always. Right, Panthers. Not the ideal season for you chaps. Obviously moved away from Plymouth to Shawfield. Team decision on that one, was it the track you wanted, or was there others that you wanted to have in the pipelines?
Mate, you're talking about how many months ago?
Quite a few.
5 months ago?
Yeah.
I can't remember that long. All I know is that Shads definitely loved the track. That's why we went there.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, the track. Oh, none of the tracks I suggested you wanted to even try. So don't give me that bullshit.
Yeah, Shads is in a good mood, isn't he? But I don't know. You had to ask me that question. I can't remember what I'd done last week, let alone 5 months ago, mate.
Well, you moved from Plymouth. That's a start.
Yeah, that one's been burned down now, hasn't it?
No. What, in real life?
Well, no, they just keep getting broken into, unfortunately. But,
Yeah.
No, it's just something different, I guess. It was very much a one-line track until Craig gets his hands on it and then changes it again.
Please.
But he's doing a great thing. But yeah, it was one of them that obviously none of us, well, the lads that kept from last season, we all said at the end of the season that we probably didn't want Plymouth again, and Thorfield was the one. Went from the south coast to too far up north.
Well, so I did mention about the Cappy and Scotty B up in their averages this year for you. Of course, those two when they rode, they were like the best of the guys you had. I mean, of course you had Bewitcher, because when Bewitcher got going, he was untouchable. Same with Lofty. When your guys got going, you were tough to beat. I mean, you look at the last match against the Dragons. You led the entire meeting up until heat 14. Do you think if you had that sort of starting where you finished, would you have been a bit higher up in the table?
Yes, I think we would have, if I'm honest, because the last 3 meetings showed that we clicked together. And I'll be honest, we changed the way that some of us were practicing. Dads can agree with that. We all decided to go in a voice chat. And
Yeah.
all right, Lofty and BW were just pretty much taking the mick out of each other all the time. But it sort of gave it that.
It was fun though.
Yeah, it sort of give it that team bond, because instead of us like all focusing on just trying to do a race, we had those two like bickering throughout the whole time that you were practicing, but yet we were still having a good laugh, enjoying the game, to get the way that it should be. Let's not take it all too serious. It is a game at the end of the day. And
100% agree.
Yeah.
Before we got that point against Scorchers, was it the turning point in the league for them as well? Did they come and expect to pick up 3-4 points and keep the pressure on the Dragons? Or you never know, do you? But proud of the lads, stuck with all 7. Obviously, some improved, some didn't, some went down. Even I dropped off from my average, I think. But I had to move myself out of the number 2 position. But yeah, you have, yeah. That's why I'm in the whatever it is on Sunday. But yeah, it is what it is. Lofty went at number 2.
You wasn't down by much though, Capesy. I mean, you were
Probably
508
down.
at the start of the season and 495, so you didn't drop by that much.
No, constant captain, but yeah, putting Lofty at 2 was probably the wise move. Putting me at 4, it worked when we turned up and only with 5 riders. Sorry, Shads, that I had to beat you in Heat 14.
Yeah,
but
don't worry about it.
I heard about it for about a week, mate.
Yeah, I know. I've forgotten about it now. You just reminded me again. Thank you.
That's all right, no worries, mate. But yeah, it's been an enjoyable season. I think a few, well, I know 2 probably won't return to the game next season, but that's just life choices, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe 3, maybe even 4. But yeah, it is what it is.
So it could be a brand new Panthers team if you come back as captain next season. Is that the plan for you?
Oh, we'll be back, don't worry.
Yeah.
Got to keep the Panthers name going because they ain't going
I
in
was
real
I was
life,
I
is
was,
it?
I was about to say, next season 21, are you coming back to the tapes next season? Well, you pretty much answered your own question for you, mate.
Yeah, Panthers will be back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? Good season, second season out of the way, and we move forward.
And on a personal note for yourself, I said you enjoyed it as a team, but for yourself personally, how do you think the season's gone for you?
Personally, when I was down at reserve, I was loving it. Scoring point. Then I went into the main body, and maybe I shouldn't have put myself at number 2. But again, it is what it is. I probably could have done better. Should have practiced more. But again, we all have busy lives, so being on all the time can't happen. And I think overtraining sometimes just makes you not enjoy the game.
Burn yourself out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, for me, it was bang average. I'd done what I needed to do. Qualified in SCS, and now got the RRC. Is it on Sunday?
RRC, yeah.
Yeah, to hopefully win.
Yeah, I want to take you back to the last meet against the Dragons and Scotty B in particular, that 21 point max. I mean, when
what a man!
I know that even I was impressed by that, and of course I was on the other side of the pits, but I made him my rider of the season partly because of that one match alone. But of course his average has increased so much over the course of the season. He's pretty much been a number 1. Or sorry, like a second heat leader to you, but he can be in like number 4, number 5. He could be a number 1 if he could do. But of course, I made Scotty my rider of the season. Just your thoughts on Scotty after that performance on last week.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. I know what Scotty can do because we've trained with him at Shawfield for the whole season. He is such a gator, and I tell you what, he proved that on a couple of weeks ago. But again, Cappy, when I messaged him and said he was going to be my golden pick at the start of the season, he was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Like proper trying to put me off of it. But he come in and absolutely smashed it. So happy to have all the lads in the team. Scotty, unreal. Silver helmet, second year in a row that is finished at Panthers. Must be something about us.
I think also, you got to give a lot of credit to Lofty as well.
Yeah, Lofty.
His average is not it's gone down quite a lot. But I mean, it came down from a false average in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he only rode 1 match, didn't he, for the Dynamite.
I got put on 7.5
He was in every practice session near enough.
He'd be the first one in.
It was me. It was Cappy. It was Bewitcher and Lofty. I mean, obviously you got work. You couldn't do it a lot of the time. Patty, obviously, once the speedway season started, he was at Oxford nearly every night. Ben was doing. Ben had work.
And
so,
now he's changed his job as well.
Lofty was there every single night, every single practice. and he was, mood was great. We had a good laugh. I can't speak too highly of him.
He'll be the first one to admit, though, he used to beat himself up. And then all of a sudden, come third heat, he'd be like, bang, pop out and win. And he'd be like, oh, right, I'm calm again. But yeah, Lofty was unreal. Like I said, 7.5, but no, it was 8.5 that he come in on, which is a very high average for one meeting. But he's openly admitted that he wants to improve. He's enjoying the game, so I'm sure he'll be back again next season.
Well, we'll soon find. Hopefully, we'll get all the sign up news eventually at some point next season.
Yeah, well, let's hope so soon, because then I can start offering people money to come to the Panthers.
Will the plan be to stay at Shorefield, or would it be a case of going
whatever the team wants?
Fair enough.
I think staying at one track for 2 seasons in a row could be dangerous. Look at what happened to the Cowboys with Paul.
Yeah,
they stayed at one track, and everyone pretty much knew the line man there, and sort of got caught out. But again, it's down to team favourites, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know the line.
Well, you still managed to help us win the meeting, didn't you? With that 5-1, mate.
That was at Paul. I was rubbish at home.
Yeah, I meant Paul.
Oh, right.
I forgot about our track.
You know why? You know why Paul dive bomb line?
Yeah.
That's
what. And then I was like, Shads, go, Shads, go. And then I was like, I'm not finishing behind Shads. Let me overtake him.
I want that win.
Yeah, I wanted Shads to get the bonus point.
Oh, cheers,
it's all right, mate. You still get paid the same.
Yeah. If you're paying, that's nothing.
Yeah, correct.
Mind you, the way I've been going this season, I should be paying you.
Nah, it's I'll be honest though, the lads that I had this season, it's been a great laugh. All right, season didn't start the way that we wanted it to, but after having the voice chats for practice and all that, it feels like it's come a long way from where the start was, where we'd just practice, like none of us talking, or we'd talk, but you know what I mean, not voice chat, and we've come a long way. God, don't mention that name, Hads. You can forget about that one. Or that one, Lofty.
Oh, brilliant. Well, Casey, thanks for coming in, mate, and having a chat about the Panthers review.
No worries.
We wish you the best for end of the season, and I guess we'll see you back on track next year, mate.
You will indeed. Cheers, lads. Take care.
Have a good, mate. Cheers.
See you later. Bye.
Cheers. So that was the Panthers review. We're gonna have our quick break now, and when we come back, we're gonna have a look at the BLRC and RRCs taking place on Sunday, and then that all important Cowboys review with Mr. Tank. So stick around. See you in 2 minutes. This is episode 72 of the All Four Back podcast with myself, Chester430, Hadlington, Shad, and Tank. Now, we have the second of our team reviews. We are going to go ahead and look at the BLRC and RRC after this second review. So, with that being said, I'm going to hand over to our producer, who has very kindly offered to take the reins from Skyrider. God help us. Tank, the Pool Cowboys review. Over to you, sir.
Dan.
Hello?
Dan.
Hello?
Have a look at your script.
Well, it says week 20 BLRC, but in the other one it says Tanks put the reviews first. So what are we doing? We doing the review or the...
Carry on.
Yeah. Tank, you ready for the Cowboys?
Yep, I'm ready.
Right. Pool Cowboys, away you go.
Right, so for the Paul Cowboys review, and that from Skyrider, he said that the Cowboys returned for a 10th season with Bobby back at the helm, and Rico as his ever trusted vice captain. Of course, with the new draft for this season, each captain had a golden pick to use, and Bobby elected for the experience JC as his. It seemed Bobby's approach was one of experience and guys he knew well, as he signed riders such as Rossi and Lango, who he's rode with before, as well as having Craig in the side. Chuck in the ever-reliable Hobnob and a shrewd signing in the returning Wayne. From 1 to 8 it looked a solid team with plenty of track knowledge. We then moved on to track picks, in which many members of the community expected Cowboys back at Edinburgh. However, Bobby surprised them by staying at Poole for another season. An interesting move when you look at the track leaders and note that away riders seem to enjoy it there. Bobby was a dependable rider there with a 40% win rate, which may be one of the reasons he elected to go back. Cowboys' first meeting of the season was in the league, as they got a bye in the quarterfinals of the Knockout Cup. They opened their league season with an absolute thriller against Spartans, which ended in a rare 45-45 draw. They then had a tricky away visit to league favourites Oxford Dragons. It ended a narrow home win by 2 points, which showed that Cows have what it takes away from home. Bobby and Craig put in a great effort with double figures, and Rico a solid 7+2 down at reserve. However, another agonising meeting at home, where they dropped points they felt they should be gaining, occurred when Wolves visited Poole. At which point Lango had left the team, and Sudden Right was brought in as replacement. Some of the community felt this was unfair given the logistics of the draft. Ultimately, he rode in his only meeting against Wolves, scoring 8+1. The tide finally turned for Cowboys with an important away win to Shawfield, coming up against Panthers. Cows were very dominant on the night, picking up a 16-point away win, gaining 4 big points in the table. Further fortune continued in the next round as they finally got a win at home against the well-matched Scorchers team. This meeting went right down to the wire with a last heat decider, and also saw some foreshadowing from Veggie coming in as a guest. Wayne and Craig in particular had a terrific night. Shiny new averages were now in effect after 5 matches, which some saw big changes for Cowboys. Most notably, JC had now dropped to reserve with Rico moving up, which felt like an absolute trump card. Craig also becoming new Cowboys number 1, but we knew it wouldn't be long for that to happen. At this point, we can look at the Knockout Cup, and Cows really had a tough 2 legs against the Wolves in the semi-final. A 16-point loss at home, deemed almost irreversible, proved by the same result at Newcastle in the second leg, meaning Cowboys crashed out the semi-finals. Some good fortune came in the British League pairs, competition, with Cowboys going the distance and winning it, all thanks to the absolute masterclass from JC scoring a whopping 18+1, only once being beaten by an opposing rider, Bobby filling in with an important 13+2 confirmed their gold medal. They couldn't go 2 for 2 with the reserve pairs, even with JC scoring a paid maximum in a pairs meeting. However, they did finish second on the night, which is a very credible effort. The 4-team tournament semi-final was one to forget for them at the newly sculpted Northside by their skipper Craig. Availability issues actually saw Squall come in as an emergency guest for Cowboys. They did finish 4th on 18 points, but Rico scored half of that himself. Now on to a rocky second half of the season, where Cowboys failed to register a win in their 5 remaining matches, not helped by facing a rejuvenated Spartan side in round 6. Spartans giving Cows an absolute thumping in what would be their biggest loss of the season. The only notable performance coming from a resilient Wayne to score 10 points. A tricky test to host league leaders followed there again, getting a thumping in the latter half of the meeting, despite keeping it close for the first 8 heats. Behind the scenes, issues at this point were very prominent, with Bobby sticking at it despite some unfortunate availability and personal issues going on in the team. Next they travelled to Newcastle and, all things considered, put in quite the effort, but ultimately resulted in a 3rd consecutive loss despite some valiant efforts from Craig and Bobby. More team changes had now took place, with Ivy Rose coming in for the departing Rossi and Fedke in for Sudden Rotten, who, as expected, had availability problems, presumably being too busy in the real world of Speedway. These changes sending Fedke straight to number 1, dropping Craig and Bobby down a peg. And that's what he put.
Blimey, was that your that's the Tank's essay.
Yep.
and that's what he put.
Yep.
End of story.
Yep.
Oh dear. But yeah, great view there from Sky. You can always tell with Skyride, he actually gets it, pretty much bang on with what he says and everything. Had Shad, I'm gonna bring you guys in if I can. Had you first, mate? Pool Cowboys. They were defending champions coming into the season. But again, like you said, 2 years at the same track, or what case of 2 years at the same track, might have been a bit of a sting in the tail, and it's proved it. So, your thoughts on the Cowboys?
I think going for the experience probably didn't work as much as Bobby would have liked at the start of the season. Obviously, the team changes, first Lango, and then Sudden Rotten here, there, and everywhere, and then Ivy and Fakey coming in didn't obviously help. But it's part and parcel of it, unfortunately. With these averages, you'll probably see the Cowboys finish probably second, or be challenging next season and put in a much better team. Well, I'd say a much better team, but a team of, obviously Bobby won't be starting off in the first 2 positions. He'll be like in the middle order as well if they keep the same team. So yeah, I think it's one of them, just a season of to get through in the end, basically, for the Cows.
Yeah. Shads, your additional thoughts on Cowboys? Of course, a difficult season for them. Even though they were defending champions coming into the meeting or into the season, just didn't go their way.
Yeah, they had a few issues. I mean, Rossi obviously had to bail out early. Rotten came in, which potentially was a great signing for Lango, and then proceeded to ride the one meeting. Bobby missed a few meetings as well, didn't he? He with his holiday commitments. Craig, I think he did it for us in season 18. I think he rode in every meeting for us in season 18. Normally, he rode in every league meeting for the Cowboys too, which is the only rider that was ever present. I think Wayne was only one off as well. So yeah, the availability issues, probably the track didn't suit them, and I mean, you say defending champions, but I think it was only Bobby and Rico that remained from the previous season. So a much changed team didn't work out for them, I'm afraid. I'm sure Bobby would have if he's going to return next year as skipper, he'd have to go down a different route. I don't think the fact that there was a draft didn't really help him very much. I think he's a guy who likes to get his team sorted early, which you can't really do with a draft. And obviously got your golden pick, and obviously your first pick, you might get who you want, but after that it's just pot luck, and you've got to do it on the fly as well, haven't you? You know, when it's your turn to pick someone, you just got to look down, see who's left, and then pick someone. So maybe the draft didn't work out so well for them this year.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get a lot of them. Hope we'll get a lot of them back for next season, and hopefully the Cowboys can be rejuvenated. I think a change of track might be the way forward for the Cowboys. I never raced at Pool this season because there was a Thursday meeting and I was at CS training, so and I didn't get a chance to ride Pool. But I saw the result on the way back, and I was like, "Get in, boys! Good win for the Dragons." But yeah, I wish all the Cowboys riders well, and hopefully see them all back to tapes in the second half. Oh, sorry, next season. So we're now going to switch gears and talk about the BLRC and the RRC. These take place on Sunday at 8:30. Both meetings at Wembley night. Here's the lineup for the BLRC, and noticeable there for riders 6 and 10, who will be rushing back from Southampton from Cycle Speedway to get back into the riders' meeting. Hadlington, you're in this meeting. Your thoughts going into it?
To be honest, it's a bit ironic that I'm the Cradley fan riding for Wolves, and I'm the only person in the meeting for Wolves.
Oh crikey, yeah.
God. Finishing 5th in the averages, I didn't really expect to be in this one, but it is what it is. I looked at my first ride earlier, and I've got Stephen, Stephen 101, and Wolfie. So yeah,
Christ. Well, there's the draw. You can talk us through it.
It is what it is. I've done some laps the other day. I found a pretty decent line and was keeping up with some good races actually. We had some good races. There was Toby in there, and obviously his boyfriend Cam. Race Ryan was in there as well. There's quite a few, and it was pretty good to be honest. So yeah, it is what it is. I've got nothing to lose, and I don't think in that field, because it's top 6 you have to make to get to the semi-final. So I don't think that's going to happen. But if I can, a couple of upsets on the way, maybe get a point per race, I'd be happy.
Yeah, I was about to say the format. I think I was going to say is it 20 heats straight through, but no, it's top 6 that go through. Top 2
to the final, yeah.
Top 2 to the final, and then the next 4 go into a semi-final, and top 2 go into the grand final.
Yeah.
So, but if I say two gate 1s, so it's not all bad. I said they do say 13 is I dare say unlucky number for draws this in this sport. Looking at that lineup, who do you see as most dangerous to sort of take the honours, and who do you see as a bit of a dark horse?
On this kind of track, I'd say a dark horse. Somebody, I'd quite fancy Marecki, to be honest. If not, I'd say Cam's looked pretty quick in practice. but he just keeps trying to break track records apparently. But Cappy was pretty decent as well, so I expect them to be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, a nice tough opening heat for you there with Stephen, Wolfie, and Stefan as well, and of course Stefan on the outside too. Have you done any practice on this track yet and seen what like the lines and like getting good times and stuff?
Yeah, track's pretty good. I think I was looking through the forum earlier and I was surprised the lack of meetings that have been held at Wembley, because the racing that we had in the practice server I was in the other night was pretty good, and there was quite a lot of passing as well. So yeah, I mean, hopefully, if Lofty and Craig both don't turn up, I'm guaranteed 2 points in each five, so that's a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, but I say this takes place on Sunday, 8:30. I wish you the best of luck for that meeting, Hadlington. So
Yeah.
on the same night, we also have the Reserve Riders Championship taking place at 8:30 as well. And again, this one pretty open, I'd say. Shads, your thoughts on the RRC? Of course, you're in it. Tank's in it. I'm in it. Pretty much a media group.
I'm guaranteed a point. I'm guaranteed a point, and if you're in it,
That's
all right.
not very nice.
That's nice. Yeah.
Not
Well,
very
you
nice,
you had a pop at me for the GP, so I'm just getting you back.
Yeah. Touche.
Yeah, this is very, very open. I mean, I don't think I've seen any of these in practice. I've been practicing with Ryan and Cam and TJ mostly. So I've not seen any of these guys going around Wembley yet. Actually, no. Tell a lie, Le Saucier. Le Saucier was in the first practice session I did, and he looked really good around Wembley. He was keeping up with Ryan and Cam, definitely. Yeah, so he could be a bit of a dark horse for me. Depending on who turns up. Obviously, the one that stands out to me is JC. I mean, how on earth he's at reserve still is beyond me. I feel if I were to go for one, if I were to pick one out of that list, I'd say JC, especially with his skating around that track being a bit of a one-liner. I mean, you can do a bit of a dive inside on the last bend, a bit like I think Somerset's probably like that, and maybe Hyde Road and Newcastle. You can do that. You can do that last bend dive and make up some ground. But no, it's a much more fun track to ride than the last one we had last week. That Pirate Speedway. God, I will never see that again. But no, looking forward to this. It'll be my penultimate meeting before I retire. The last one
you
being
won't
the World
retire,
Championship.
Shads. You won't retire.
So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it should be fun.
You won't retire, Shads. No chance, mate. You won't retire.
I've already promised Mrs. Strads.
Oh dear. So you got the draw there as well. Looking ahead. Tank, I'm gonna bring you in if I can, mate.
I've just
Heat
noticed
1.
something on the spreadsheet.
Oh, what have you noticed there, Hads?
Heppel's number 7 and number 9. Shads is not on there.
Oh, that's nice.
Heppel getting double points. Yeah, Heat 18. Heppel,
looks like
Tank, and
looks like I've already been retired.
But Tank, your thoughts going into the RRC?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't done single lap yet, so it could go either well or bad. But no, Wembley's a good track. From riding it before, it's a simple line, well, as simple as it can get to. And I'd like to say I could do well in it, but anything can happen on the night. Plus, I will be doing 2 shifts on the night
Bloody hell.
Well, it nearly happened for the Grand Prix in the Slice Championship earlier this season, so it was always going to happen. But no, as I say, it'll be an interesting one. The opening heat, hopefully it'll, this is the only time I'm gonna say this. Hopefully it says Spartans 5-1, technically speaking. Other than that, it'll be an interesting meeting. Yeah, it's hard to call who will make the top 6. Be top 2 and top 6. I think. Yeah, it's all to play for, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And if they all turn up as well, so that's gonna be another addition to that program.
Yeah.
Absolutely, completely agree. And of course, first out the hat in the draw. So I got literally out of there, Chester. Hey, there you go. Straight out of the box. If I'm honest, I've done about 3 laps on this track. I use the purple bike, and I hear that's not the ideal one. So I'm doing a bit more practice maybe tomorrow or after the pod tonight. Nothing to lose really. Nothing to lose. Everything to go for. Got my Dragons teammates involved. So Heppel and Craig Carroll.
And Heppel.
Yeah, Heppel twice. Yeah. But yeah, it should be a good night. I thought I was going to be, let's say, as a number 8, I was going to be at the bottom and like not be in this meeting at all. But I qualified. I don't know how, because my average went down faster than the Titanic. So
qualified because you're rubbish. That's why we're all there. That's why we're all there.
Thank you, Hads. So thank you, Shads, for that. Oh dear, but it should be a good night. Hopefully, we're back in time from Southampton to get involved and be part of this meeting. And I know that obviously SCS meetings, I was turning them down, but yeah, it's what it is. Personal preferences, really, I guess. But yeah, we'll see how things go on Sunday, and yeah, we'll see how things pan out. Now, before we do wrap up tonight's show, I believe Haddington, you've got a few things you want to mention. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I was going to say my favourites for this was JC and Le Sorcier, first of all. But anyway, yeah, a few of you might know I've been trying to message and get some old riders back. I've messaged probably 50, 60 people over the last week or so. Just going through Discord and old riders and people who are in groups and blah de blah. I mean, I've still got one to do, which is the big one, which is the Facebook one. But yeah, so far there's a few who's responded pretty positively. I'd say 7 to 8 have said they might be interested. But yeah, and after that, I'm also going to try and get some new people involved if possible by trying to use this video that Skyrider made the other week and try and get in a few people to share it, maybe in their Speedway teams, group chats, and their real life teams, and or like fan group pages and stuff like that. And yeah, just to try and get a few numbers up for next season. And I mean, if you put that ad together with what Craig's doing with the tracks, I mean, I think that can only be a good thing for the game and get back to where we need to be.
Get a few numbers in for season 21, maybe a few more teams as well. Going to be coming up to takes as well.
I mean, I have had conversations with, a couple of Polish people, shall we say, and one of them asked me if they could maybe put together a team like the Norse did, but obviously that's all down to averages and grades and how things go, and if they've all rode in this league before and how you assess them. But knowing it's not Barney for Capesy. So yeah, we just have to see what happens, and if obviously with the draft system, how you could incorporate them, because obviously when the Norse were first in, they didn't get involved. They just were allowed to put their own team in, as it were, and whether that would be a thing we could consider is a long way off at the minute. But yeah, it's definitely something we need to be working with.
Well, it's definitely something to look forward to in the future there, Hads. And once again, thanks for being the messenger to most people. So with that being said, we're gonna wrap things up. Just a quick reminder: we're not here next week. I think there's a meeting in Manchester, so it's taking place. I think something's happening up there, so we're not here next week. So we'll be back on the 20th of June with the BLRC and RR reviews, the World Champs qualifiers, and then the World Championship final draw, and as well as the World Champs Grand Final preview. And then, of course, we have the Newcastle Wolves and the Powderhall Scorchers season review. Don't forget, this podcast will be dropped at 8 p.m. tomorrow over on YouTube, so you can watch it back and watch us all talk waffle as always, mainly me, but there we go. So with that being said, I'm going to say a good night to our producer Tank.
Good night, all.
I'm going to say a good night to Shads, if Shads is there.
He's run off.
And good night, all.
Good night, Shads. And it's a good night to Hadlington.
Good night, all.
And it's going to be Chester. We'll see you back here on the 20th of June for episode 73 of All Four Back. In the meantime, enjoy your racing, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks' time. Take care. All the best. Good night.